One day it'll go.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
I'll tell you what, it is nice to be back home, back in San Antonio, Texas, after a long trip, turning down the Kentucky game so we can get tonight's show started from the Sports Analytics headquarters and the ITL Movie Studio, San Antonio, Texas, chilling. Backstage producer, Manon1026, part of the BCMG stream team, doing her magic tonight. And, of course, joined by none other than just Luke, King of Hearts 82. What's up, my man?
What's up, Ernest? Now we're in almost a football season mode. We had the ITL Hoopathon. It sounds like it looked great. Sounds like it did great. Definitely going to be wheels up for Tampa next year for sure.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just saying, the Pittsburgh Pirates made the Sports Center today strictly because someone was sliding into third and his phone fell out of his pocket. Yes, people, you heard that correctly. His phone fell out of his pocket.
Obviously has nothing to do with maybe, sending a text message when it's a certain kind of pitch or anything like that, right, Luke?
Hey, you got to do it for the gram, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely the truth. Just like he makes his comeback every year. Actually, no, he holds the lead every year in the ITL Pick'em. But that's right, Kenny Cotterell has joined ITL just like that. Kenny Cotterell, season 4 co-host. What's up, my man?
When the hell have I ever trailed in the ITL Pick'em? It's been pure domination the last two seasons. The fact that I'm at like a 67% winning percentage, like I'm just making you guys money. Go check out Competitive Hedge Podcast. How could you not?
Wow.
Subtle plug, not so subtle plug, whatever we call it. Ernest, thanks so much for having me on. I wish I was in cell service throughout the weekend so I could have been on the ITL Hoopathon tuning in, but it sounded like it was a major success and great work on everyone's part.
I appreciate you, man. No, we had a really good time over there. I'm going to talk all about it in just a second, so I won't bore you. Don't forget, just like the Hoopathon was and that whole week was, tonight's episode is powered by Blue Collar Media Group. Hashtag Better Together.
Is that a new sponsor?
No, absolutely not. Somehow they ended up on my wall and on my shirt. But very excited for tonight's episode. We're going pure AFC, NFC North, some of our favorite teams to talk about here on screen. The Bears, the Steelers, oh my. I'm excited. But first and foremost, we're going to kick things off with some news recap and what's happened just in the last week or so. So as you know, backstage producer Manon1026 as well as myself, we were in Boston, Cape Cod this past week, got to enjoy some time there at the Hoopathon. And if you missed it, you missed some great shots, some up-and-coming players. We had some great universities join us. Michigan State University was with us. UConn was with us. Baylor and U of H all made appearances in our comments and feeds and gave us confirmations on what a great, performance it was by the girls, but it really was just like a game show. Courtney Sims was there, former, I think his D-League MVP back when he won the D-League MVP. Massive individual, very nice guy, massive individual. He's 6'11", absolutely made us look like shrimps. I wish I had the picture that showed it. But what we're going to do is let's take a look a little bit at the Hoopathon. If you missed it, you can take a look right now and tune in to one of the first shooters. So we have a clip here from the video. I think Man is going to jump it on. And one of the first clips was this girl. So the backstory with this player, so she went first, is that, and we're going to catch the last part of her run. she
make 5 shots here.
they picked her
The first one's
because
off,
she
block,
couldn't shoot as well as the other girls.
Here we go.
So they did a huddle. They figured out who was going to be the best person to shoot it. And it turns out that she's going to hit the only biggest shot of the whole hoopathon was the very first girl. So you can see she's rounding out. She hasn't made a 3-pointer the whole time. She struggled a little bit in the beginning. She was nervous, and then she kind of rounded out the inside. So as you can tell with the hoopathon, you go all the way around. So they put it at the half court. Everybody's like, all right, there's Steve running. You don't have no cast on. And
look at the wheels on Steve.
I know,
like, holy
I know.
crap.
Look at this shot right here. She hits the half court. Everybody goes nuts. Absolutely unexpected. She's ecstatic. She doesn't know what to do with it, so we were ecstatic.
Like the shot was incredible, but the front bumper on Steve to have that kind of movement, like that is impressive.
Absolutely impressive. So she goes on interviews, says she didn't expect to hit anything. She was fantastic. So big shout out to there. The grand total of the hoopathon with the late call audible and just Team Sims was $1,100. Very huge undertaking. Sims had never done anything like it. They're on board for next year, and now we have 2 clubs signed on with the ITL Hoopathon, and 2 more are going to be joining. So we're going to have a round robin tournament to attach to the Hoopathon next year. And where's it going to be? That's a great headline. That's right. Where's it going to be? Right now, today, if I had to put money on it,
Saskatchewan.
The overall favorite is Tampa, Florida. That's where we're heading. Tampa, Florida. We'll be teaming up with what's called GSCon, or I'm going to mess this up. GamerSpot. GamerSpot. I think that's what it is. GamerSpot Convention. They're a company out of England that's going to be bringing a convention to the States, and we're teaming up with them next season to combine the Hoopathon with the gamer convention, and we're very excited for that. So lots more to come. There is an outside dark horse favorite that this ends up being in Houston, which would be much better for me. So if we end up in Tampa, no skin off my nose, but I'm excited to check out either place. So we'll keep you guys posted. Third Hoopathon should be fantastic. This one was great. Courtney was really impressed. Job and Chris Ramick did a fantastic job commentating the whole time. Great interviews. They got to interview Courtney Sims. They got to have some one-on-ones too. And Job had some great pieces with other individuals outside of the Hoopathon, and so it was a great turnout.
Did the model predict the winner of the ITL Hoopathon?
It did not this time. Sam didn't go. So the model did not join the fray for this one.
Dying.
I will tell you this though. Kudos to the girls and their parents, because the ones that were there, they were like super into it. And even one of the dads was like, "How much did my daughter raise compared to the others? Can you give me that number?" And I was like super into the number. That's awesome. That's awesome to be competitive like that. I'm going to try to feed that in and maybe make the Hoopathon a little bit more competitive by saying whoever gets the most money gets like a bonus at the end. But we could talk about that next year. But huge kudos. Thank you to everybody who supported. We had tons of donations from everybody in the ITL community, as well as from our sports scientists themselves. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you guys for being a part of the magic. But without Steve, it may not be the same, but we are going to switch over to terrible Twitter takes here with the 3 of us. I thought it was just right. Like the DMs were flowing today with just some of the worst Twitter takes. So I thought, why the hell not? Let's just do it. Let's dive into some of those bad takes. And the first one that it definitely Kenny's is Tua's going to be the MVP this year. So I absolutely wanted to share this with you, Kenny, because I thought it was right on point. Tua's amazing throw in practice today. So the MVP chants at the training camp for the Dolphins. We should just have this on repeat. We're gonna keep this on repeat.
Man.
Wow. And I think not even the best part about the whole thing is you're practicing with Tampa. Like that's the best thing ever. Like you're looking at TB12 across the road. You're like, oh, we should have tapered a little harder, fellas.
Like, okay, so like, let me be honest. I'm watching this clip right the first time. I'm thinking like right here, like, wow, that guy knows. That guy is going to hit his receiver. So
that was my favorite part of it. Was I saw that and I was like, oh, he's gonna complete a bomb to Tyreek.
No.
And then
Oh,
this is
that's
the
amazing.
this is the moment the receiver looks down at the ball like, what the hell was that?
And
It
look at
didn't even
Tua.
look like
Just
he
look
had
at Tua.
pressure.
Just look at him back there. You're just like,
It must
whoa.
have been the pressure. The
Oh,
line wasn't
God.
Oh, it
holding up.
had to be. That orange
seeing
dummy really
ghosts.
got him.
Just one more time because I just he's not the MVP.
Yeah, all
this
that
year, guys.
pressure in his face.
He's not the MVP this year. I thought that was a terrific take for Tua. But I mean, the real debate here before we move
Okay,
on
wait.
to the next.
Can we also mention?
Yeah,
the fact
I'm going
that-
into it.
No. But Andrew Conn Sutton really came on this show when
did.
we talked top 5 fantasy quarterbacks,
boy.
and he put Tua Tagovailoa second.
Where is
Second.
the
He did.
Boomtown Pod at? Where
He
are
did.
they? Get over here,
Second.
Andrew. Come defend
He
your
did.
take.
Oh, terrible Andrew takes. Like,
Yeah, he did.
oh my goodness.
But before we switch on, last 30-second take here, Kenny. You are serious that Tua is going to have a better season than Mac Jones?
100% serious.
100% serious. Tell us why.
But look at the weapons difference. Like,
That's true.
you have Tyreek. Like, he can literally throw a 4-yard pass that Tyreek turns into 80 yards.
He doesn't
any
even
given
have
time.
to do that, Kenny. All he
Yeah.
has to do is throw it in front of him.
Yeah.
Like,
And the same
he
goes
does
for
little pop
Jalen
passes,
Waddle.
we're good.
Like, when we're talking about Patriots weapons, like, I like Hunter Henry in the red zone. I think Devontae Parker's fine. I like Jacoby Myers, but like, these guys aren't those two. And even Mike Gesicki, I take Gesicki over Hunter Henry. So I don't see a weapons across the board. Like, Henry's the better red zone guy, but Gesicki I trust more week to week personally. So I don't know. Like, I'm not even saying that Tua is necessarily the better quarterback. I'm saying he's going to have the better fantasy year because look at who he's throwing to. It's like, it's not even close.
I agree. The wide receiver difference is there, right? I don't know if
Tight end, call it a wash then, but like,
Yeah, but
wide
running-
receiver, it's not close.
receiving back though. You think leans Dolphins?
Maybe.
They
Like,
have Raheem
that's a wash,
Mostert
too.
now.
Yeah. Like, to me, those are both just backfields that
So
I'm
you
not
just say
sold
wide
on.
receivers are obviously just tip the scale, and Tua just has more weapons.
Like New
I guess
England
we
just
gotta
doesn't
see
have
it.
the guys to make plays on their own, like
But
Miami does.
if you take the talent around them out, Tua and Mac Jones, just those
Straight up,
quarterbacks. Yeah.
I probably like Mac Jones more to get me to the playoffs.
Okay. That makes sense. I honestly thought it was a huge.
I mean, I
flop,
think
then,
Steve just put a hit out on me for that, but like, I don't know.
You know,
I
he
think
just woke up.
Yeah, absolutely.
fantasy-wise, I just don't think that it's particularly close.
His Patriots sense is tingling. Let's move on. All right, the Browns are going to be debuting their new starting quarterback. That's right, Deshaun Watson's expected to start this Friday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Lots of let's go and W's in the comment section here. I was hoping I had Coach Peanut and the rest
What
of
are
the
we
Nutty
doing
Bunch.
here? W's?
We how quick we've forgotten what's happening.
Okay, at the end of the day,
Predators, we got some
Deshaun
there.
Watson might make the most money in NFL history for one series of preseason. Because if Rodgers pursuing what he wants, then we're not seeing Deshaun Watson this year. And just for the record, Vegas still has Cleveland's win total at like 8.5. Like, hammer the under if it's Jacoby Brissett all year.
Yep.
Hammer it.
Completely agree. Luke, this is your in-division rug mats. So I just have to ask, like,
I think just the whole microcosm of Cleveland football, you're handing out T-shirts that say "Raw Power." Terrible idea. You're having this guy sign autographs for kids. Definitely, probably not a good look there. Then the irony of it all is the National Massage Therapy get-together convention is in Cleveland, Ohio this year. So
Down the
that's
street.
lovely.
down the street. It's like literally the next block
Literally
over.
down the street from the stadium. So there's another one. And then I think like the T to end the day was that ESPN is reporting that they're going after Jimmy Garoppolo. Like,
that's terrific.
oh, please trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. Please trade more assets away just because you're going to be in the same exact fucking spot you are with Jimmy Garoppolo than Jacoby Brissett. It's just a wonderful dumpster fire that I love to see. And then Kareem Hunt wants out. Are we really surprised by that?
Yeah,
like I'm not surprised he wants out.
Somebody's definitely going to clip our smiling faces with Deshaun Watson in Man of the Year. That's definitely going to happen on this show.
Well, Kareem Hunt's going to go to fucking the Rams. There's no doubt in my mind.
Wow, but we also haven't talked about like what teams actually need an NFL kicker, because like Kareem Hunt's got a leg on him, and like if we're looking at teams that are struggling kicker wise, like there's a lot of bad kickers out there, and I don't know if I've seen one with the leg of Kareem Hunt.
Pat McAfee before I'd sign fucking anybody else. I'll tell you that.
I think Kareem Hunt goes to Houston. Let's just be honest. I'd like to trade.
Let's be honest. Is Pat McAfee passing any NFL drug tests?
No,
he's not playing again.
Probably. Well, I don't know. With his cousin Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod's Boogie now, who knows? They might pass all kinds of
sure we'll be touching on those hallucinogens right away here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the lineup somewhere.
Let's swap over to some more crazy, which has been the talk of the town. Kevin Durant's making headlines all over again. It says NBA headlines are slow. Fuck it. Hey, I want another trade. Come on, let's do it. So the most recent tidbit we've learned is that the Nets basically asked for the entire Celtics roster. This one I was actually hoping to have Steve on, but that's okay. Let's take a look at what the offer probably looked like. Sean Marks probably said, hey, we prepared what we believe is a fair demand for Kevin Durant. Paper slides across the table. Guys, Steven says, did you print this out from our website? Just a copy of the roster. That's probably exactly what it was, minus Jason Tatum. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Williams, Smart, Brown, and 3 first-round picks for Kevin Durant when you absolutely have no other assets other than Kevin Durant coming back. I mean, it's stupid. It's one of the dumbest trades I've seen. Kenny, shot and held Durant goes to the Celtics.
No. Kevin Durant's playing for the Brooklyn Nets next year. Who are we kidding? Like, if he was going to get traded, he would have been traded already. And they're going to sit there and bicker and, I didn't want Nash. Like, Nash was attached to Marks and all this stuff. At the end of the day, Kyrie's going to be there. Ben Simmons is going to be there. KD's going to be there. And they're probably going to win 55 regular season games and everything's going to be fine. So I'm really not too concerned about Kevin Durant trade packages anymore.
Like, I love this back and forth with trades and everything. And then the first dunk of the season, Kevin Durant's going to scream the crowd, this is my house. And then it's all over. Like, nobody's going to bring it up ever again because he makes one dunk. Luke, do you care at all about Kevin Durant?
Honestly, no. I really don't understand it. Like, this dude, besides being a piss baby on Twitter, like, you're being a giant piss baby now over this whole fucking situation. You hand-picked this team, my guy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you wanted Steve Nash. You wanted Kyrie. Like,
you wanted DeAndre Jordan on a 4-year, $40 million contract.
You wanted
good
James
for
Harden.
him for getting the bag. Good for him for getting that bag.
Keep getting them checks. Like, I'm all for keep getting them checks. Absolutely. But my God.
I saw the funniest picture before tonight's episode, and I wish I would have had it before. Shout out to whoever had it out there. Sorry, I don't know your name. But it was a construction crew, and it shows one guy, and it says the guy who shows up when the building is done. It had Kevin Durant's face on it.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. All right. Our last crazy take is around the infamous and the everlasting love, Antonio Brown. That's right. Antonio Brown back in headlines. I don't know if you guys got to see this amazing tidbit from him today. My biggest regret in my career doesn't involve calling my GM a cracker or showing up to Raiders camp late in a hot air balloon with frozen feet or throwing rocks at that UPS driver. And it definitely doesn't involve taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap around Jet Stadium mid-game while throwing up deuces. My biggest regret is that I'll never get to see me, Antonio Brown, play a game live. Sure, I can watch the game afterwards, but I can't imagine what that was like for you all to see something like that. Like watching the Beatles or Jesus perform at Red Rocks.
Listen, for some reason I just knew you'd have this for some reason, so I had this loaded for you. I mean, that dude is a fucking lunatic. A lunatic. I mean, there's no actual way he actually said this, right?
I said that earlier. There's no way that's a real quote. And
Like,
if it is, get that man institutionalized.
but I'm just saying, though, it's not like a 50-50. I think it's like a 60-40 chance he actually did say it.
I actually have it
it's
higher.
close.
I actually
close.
lean 75-25 on the fact that he probably said this. And let's be honest, like we have Big Brother and those things that have started today, on American television here. I would love to see a Big Brother with like Kyrie, Antonio Brown, just some of the biggest crazies of professional
Dennis
sports.
Rodman,
old
Yeah.
and young in there. Just have a whole slew of characters that would just. I even lean towards, what was that guy's name? Royce White. Well, that guy was crazy for like 8 years. Just crazy demands from rookie year to when he was finally
Gilbert
coming in China.
Arenas.
Oh, Gilbert Arenas would be something.
God,
I just want to see them all.
we need to set this up. Like
Chris Anderson. Can you imagine Chris Anderson in there? I would love it. I would love it. I just didn't know if anybody had seen this. And if you hadn't, you're welcome. Go ahead and go find that. It's on Twitter. It's trending everywhere. Antonio Brown is NFL Jesus ? That's what everybody's going to be talking about. All right, guys. Before we go into our study session, we're going AFC North, NFC North, of course, powered by Blue Collar Media Group. They have a wonderful stream team, right? We have a brand new clip that we formed a couple months back. So we are going to roll that before we go into round 2, our ITL study session. So let's roll the stream team clip as a break, and then we'll go right into that study session.
Yo, Jill going down the hill. Gonna go fetch Jack in his little pill. Jack feeling down and that's pretty bad. Let's go.
Oh! Yo! Clip that! Clip that headshot!
Nice.
No!
A pistol. What the fuck? Okay, that didn't count.
Woo! Let's go, baby! Clutch it up! Yeah, I like it!
What? No way! Did that precision just kill me?
Let's go!
Nice, Papa!
Papa with the clutch kill at the end. Let's go.
Oh, I missed. That was fast.
Got him.
Nice.
Man, I'm going to go steal their shit.
That is definitely green.
You're dumb and it's orange.
We're both wrong, red.
I could get that solo if I tried it a couple times, but we'll come back to it.
I'm fucking dick right now. Holy shit. Like, I fucking suck right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
Hey, the BCMG stream team. There we go. All right. So we're going to move on to our ITL study session. If you haven't checked out the BCMG stream team, you have wonderful individuals. I think I saw somebody pop out. That's right. There he is, the Holy Man. That's right. Huge shout out to the Holy Man and Coach Peanut kicking off the captains of the BCMG stream team. The Holy Man, the newest captain named of the stream team. Happy to have you on board, bud. Sam Fashion, Just Easy TV, Coach Peanut, and the Holy Man doing wonderful work as captains. And we have tons of things planned in 2023. Super excited. I wish I could just give out all the secrets, but I can't. So kudos to y'all. As far as the stream team, check them out on Twitch and Facebook. You can catch a whole bunch of them. Manin1026 producing tonight's show on Twitch, twitch.tv/Manin1026. Huge shout out to her. If you haven't followed her, go give her some followers, guys. She's growing a brand new channel. We appreciate that. All right, round 2, our ITL study session tonight. The NFC and AFC North. We're going to double up. Hey, of course, the Holy Man. We're going to double up and check out these two divisions because we only have 2 more ITL episodes of Season 3 with my co-host, the General Steve Reisner. And then we're gonna move on to a brand new season and a brand new ITL pick'em. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and move right into everybody's favorite Hard Knocks Cinderella story. That's right, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are the first team we're going to evaluate. We've got some attentive sports scientists for this team because there's so much to choose from. I'll start things off though with this group. Obviously, staying away from most of the players on the Lions, not named DeAndre Swift. But if you want to pick another outside candidate, for me, it would be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I was high on Amon-Ra St. Brown last year, and he ended pretty hot on the charts when it came to his production towards the end of the year. He was trending upward. And then, of course, most will take that flyer at the tight end position with the Hawkinson guy. So if we have to, I mean, let's be honest. I'm not going to give him full name here on ITL. He's always hurt half the year, so I'm going to use half his name. Like, that's just what we're going to do here. Like Kenny's fact checking me. I'm going to see how many games he's missed the last 2 seasons. Guy hasn't been on the field. But, Luke, any other Lions you would look at?
Honestly, no. And realistically, I'm taking waivers on all of those guys. You know what I mean? They're late picks.
Oh, you're saying you're not drafting them is what you're saying.
Realistically, probably not. That St. Brown, you could probably always get him off waivers, probably. The only thing about Swifty is when he actually touches the ball and he's actually on the field, he can be probably a good RB2, but that's his issue. And TJ Hawkinson, I don't know. I don't. He has ups and downs, and it seems like it's more downs than ups as of late.
Yeah, for Jared Goff, his rankings stat-wise for me for the season with his strength of schedule against the passing attack has him at 22, which is low QB2, but in my projections beforehand, before all the numbers ran, he was 29 on my list, the 29th best starting quarterback, given the talent of the NFL. So that's where he ranked on my list. Kenny, your face tells me wonders about the Detroit Lions. How are you feeling about them?
Well, first of all, they're not even the worst team in their division. Let's start there. Okay, so like if we're going to dog the Lions, we better double dog the Bears.
You haven't seen the tag yet, so you'll get there. You'll get there.
Okay, so first of all, Hawkinson missed 5 games last year, played the full season the year prior. So it's not like he's an injury-riddled guy his entire career. Also, you're drafting him as like tight end 6 or 7 right now. So when we're talking about where he's going, he's past the top 5 of the Pitts, Waller, Kelsey, Andrews, and Kittle. So it's a wasteland after you get past those 5 anyways. Yeah. I'd feel more comfortable drafting Hawkinson than hoping that Mike Gesicki catches a touchdown, hoping that Hunter Henry catches a touchdown, hoping that Dawson Knox catches 4 touchdowns because he either catches none or 4. I like St. Brown. I actually think if you want a late flyer, DJ Chark going there intrigues me just because he did play well with Jacksonville. He got hurt last year, but he could be their red zone threat, and I think he's got potential there. Jared Goff, I mean, yeah, he's like QB 27 on Sleeper app. Like, unless you're
he's one of 32.
Yeah, I honestly thought you were going to say Josh Reynolds. I thought you say take a late flyer on Josh Reynolds because he flashed some towards the end of last season. He has a repertoire with Jared Goff.
But I prefer Chark just based off history. Like, to me, like, you're not drafting these guys. Like, if you're not drafting St. Brown, Hawkinson, Swift, you maybe draft Jamal Williams because he got a lot of carries late last year. And you also know that apparently Dan Campbell hates DeAndre Swift and loves handing the ball to anyone not named DeAndre Swift. So I think there's more fantasy options in this Lions offense. Like, I actually like them to win 7 or 8 games this year. I think they're a much improved team. The Vegas line has it at 6.5, and it's one of my favorite overs. So I think they're going to win 7 or 8 this year.
Yeah, so I know Kenny and differ with the Lions because I think they are the worst team in that division, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later, Kenny. I do think that it's fun to see him on Hard Knocks. I don't know if Kenny maybe has some infatuation with Hard Knocks. Before we continue,
I haven't even watched it.
Oh, that's sad. Before we continue, we have the man of this division. That's right, Dre Rogers just appeared from Indonesia, man in the future, and after our hearts at Dre 2123. What's going on, Dre?
2124 actually, but yeah.
2124.
Wow, Ernest.
There's got to be a 2123. Is that your Instagram?
No.
I'm about to find it right
you
now.
nip that one in the butt real quick.
Don't you lie to me, Dre.
No, I'm serious. There's no 23.
It's 2125. Yeah.
Dre, who's the worst team in your division?
The same as every year, the Bears.
There we go. It's the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, I'm going to show you something that's going to change your
No.
mind completely.
No, you're not.
No,
it's
It's
not.
going to change your mind
Absolutely no way that you're
completely.
changing my
And
mind.
now they're losing their best defensive players, so it's
And if you tell me that the reason why is because of that Justin Fields overthrow by like 10 yards in the end zone, then because I have a feeling that that's what you're going to play. And I saw it on Twitter. And if that's where you're going with it, then I know you too well. And
That's what he's
judging by
doing,
your
yeah.
laugh, that's exactly where you're
Damn
going
it,
with
Kenny.
it.
Damn it.
I'm 2 and 2
Can't
with
do
Twitter.
it. No.
Now he's going to go Google a different
I
clip
can't
of
do it.
Justin Fields.
Let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about the Packers. This is Dre's team. Let's go there. Packers, I have the headline as Rodgers and Friends because really, if you try to name anybody else besides Aaron Rodgers, I'd quiz you unless you really know, like you like Aaron Jones because you play fantasy football. But Dre, I'm going to go with you, right? Who are the guys to watch in Green Bay? I know we differ on where Aaron Rodgers really ranks. So ITL rankings for quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers for me ended up at number 9. Stat-wise, though, with our equation that we use, he ended up as number 6 overall for PPR leagues. So for me, Aaron Rodgers definitely top 10. For some, have him top 5. What about for you? Where does Aaron Rodgers rank for you, given the weapon with Devontae Adams being lost?
PPR. Probably like maybe number 9, just because of the running possibility. I'm pretty sure he's going to run more than he used to before because of his newly found friends. But
but aren't there just a ton of Hall of Famers in the wide receiver core? I mean, that's what I keep hearing. Rumor has
it. Sammy Watkins.
Fucking Alan Lazard, baby. It's
Randall
Lazard
Cobb,
season.
the corpse of Randall Cobb.
The corpse of Randall Cobb.
Guy who just keeps giving, Randall Cobb.
They're probably going to call, he called Jordy Nelson for sure. He's like,
Absolutely
Jordy, come on, man. Just one more.
He doesn't even have a great relationship with him, and he probably called Greg Jennings at some point and said, like, is there a shot?
David Givens.
Hear me out. 5 receptions.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Green Bay.
You don't even
But
like training camp.
Trace like back to reality here.
Yeah.
No, we're the actually the
Talking
luckiest
reality with
team.
Aaron Rodgers.
We're the luckiest team in the league because we've got the easiest division. Everybody sucks, so that basically means that we make the playoffs every year, which is why the GM and LaFleur has such a great record and all of that, just because it's easy. So we just make it to the playoffs and then we lose, and then we go to the off season and then it's the same thing all over again.
Yep, 'tis it. We did a poll, right? We did a poll on Twitter to find out if everybody had the same feelings on whether we thought that it was the Packers to lose in the NFC North. You'd be a fool if you really didn't think it was. But let's talk about it, right? The Packers, we had a poll, 108 people voted on that poll, and the Packers won at 52%. The Vikings received 29%, roughly 29% of the vote.
Too high.
So really a 2-1 favorite.
Where are my Detroit Lions at, Ernest?
Your Detroit Lions finished
12.
third there with 12%.
See, Bears at the bottom.
So they're saying that the Chicago Bears are the worst team in the division. Interesting.
I just want to let you guys know that the other clip I had today of the Chicago Bears to maybe pique your interest is that Chris Remick and I teamed up on Madden, and we won by 40 points over Job and Steve in BCMG Gameday, and it was just an onslaught of offense. But
to be fair, when Steve was growing up, like he was used to games like Pong and like
and Tecmo Bowl,
maybe Pac-Man if we're lucky. Like he just played stickball. Like That was his game growing up.
What was that burger game where like you had to build a burger?
You make the burger. If it doesn't make a hole, you had to go in the trash.
Except Steve was stoned the whole time, so he tried to eat the burger, and then the game was ruined. And
the game was just ruined from the beginning.
Sorry.
So just to end this topic on the Green Bay Packers, fantasy football wise, Aaron
fell off
Jones,
the chair, man.
AJ Dillon, definitely names you want to pack and play. But what about the wide receivers? A lot of people are saying go pick up Lazard. That's his favorite. Some people are saying go get Watkins on a flyer. Some people are saying go with the rooks. Dre, if you had to pick the receivers or anybody, if you had to pick the receivers, who are you looking at?
I mean, he likes to force the ball to whoever his favorite receiver is. So definitely Lazard, but I'd go in maybe like the 10th round or something. I wouldn't take a flyer wide receiver 1 or not even wide receiver 2. So maybe like for a flex, that could be a good possibility. And if you need like a sleeper on your final picks, maybe go with one of the rooks. Possibly with Rodgers, they're saying they're gonna use him in the slot, kind of like a Tyreek Hill kind of thing, but I don't really know. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be like, because for the past, I think 2 years we've been trying to copy the 49ers offense, so I think it's just gonna be maybe like 75% running the ball and 25% So I mean, I'd wait until the later rounds if you're going to pick up a wide receiver, but I'd look somewhere else. Basically, I even myself, I'm probably going to avoid any Packer wide receiver. Maybe I'll take with my final pick, I'll grab a rook or something just in case, but I'd go with AJ Dillon. I think he's the one that's going to catch a lot out of the backfield. So that'd be who I'd pick. But
perfect. Let's move on. Let's talk. Okay, Kenny, go ahead.
I'd actually own Bob Tunyon. I think Robert Tunyon.
Okay.
Yeah,
as your late tight end flyer. Like you probably draft like Hawkinson,
nothing. Yeah,
and then you draft Tunyon late. And then you have to draft Jordan Love in case A-Rod goes on a vision quest or something. Then you're a little bit concerned that you're not going to have a starting QB. So, maybe just be safe. Get Jordan Love as well.
Aaron Rodgers absolutely is in the house.
And then in that case, you pick up Romeo, and then we've got Love and Romeo on your team.
Oh, I love it. Let's move on. The Chicago Bears are the third team we're talking about in the NFC North. Madden Legends or worst team in the NFL? I had the headline there for you, Kenny. Justin Fields, dual threat, if you call it dual threat quarterback in the NFL. And then you have David Montgomery, which you're really not sure what you're doing with there. And Tariq Cohen would be back for this team. Justin Fields did go on record today and say that he is throwing to receivers that wouldn't even be sixth string at Ohio State.
There's no way he said that.
Probably not the best thing to say.
Sources Ballsack Sports or what?
No, it's NFL, but the L was
Ernest, I got to rant just for a second about the Bears because...
All right, Kenny, we'll give you the spotlight. Go ahead.
The fact that they hang Justin Fields out to dry this hard, this isn't even... he doesn't have the weapons that some of the other guys do. He has Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, and a bunch of nobodies. And we're supposed to sit there and say that Justin Fields is going to take a step year 2. What's that step? He has nowhere to go because he has no one alongside him to do anything. So I'm kind of pissed off that Bears fans were going to have to hear from them all year that Justin Fields is the problem, and it couldn't be further from the truth. There's no chance that this is on Justin Fields this year, that you're going to lose your 2 best defensive guys. You don't replace Allen Robinson with anyone of note. Absolutely brutal that he's getting hosed this bad. You can take the spotlight off anytime.
Are you sure, Kenny? I didn't.
Or
I
is,
just
or
wanted
is
to
the
make sure.
extended spotlight just like for added effect?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Luke or Dre, do you want to say anything about the Chicago Bears?
They stink.
They're poop butt.
They're
I
gonna be
think
bad this year.
I think Kenny made up all of the names that you just mentioned.
Yeah, like I don't even know if half of those are people. Like Cole Kmet, like I just threw some letters together for that last
I
name.
like Cole Kmet. I think Cole Kmet actually might be a good play. I think that's
A good
where
play
he's
for
being-
what though?
Low end tight end 2 for your team if he's still on the board late in the rounds.
Like what's the over under on Justin Field touchdowns? Like 20 this year?
Yeah, 20, 22. Let me see.
And that might even be high. Like it might be like 16. Like can he throw one per game with this team? The only thing that saves the Bears from possibly being the worst team in the league is that they also get to play the Lions and Minnesota twice. So
I have Justin Fields at 21 touchdowns for the season. 3 on the ground.
How?
I figured they would be behind a lot. So I
he's
figured they'd be
absolutely hosed. It's not even funny how bad they're going to be. But kind of it is for Dre. Like Dre's going to be laughing the whole time, but like I don't really blame him.
There's Londo. There's Londo. The Kenny rant. Kenny rant.
You need one in every episode.
Absolutely. Let's move on to a team that actually has a chance, a puncher's chance to win the division. That's the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins finally break through this year.
They've got the
I don't know
third
why
best
you're
odds.
so high on the Packers. I'm honestly not. So
I'm high on Detroit. So
so you think Detroit wins the division?
no, I think Green Bay wins, but they
Yeah.
finished second ahead of Minnesota.
Wow.
I do too, actually.
Okay, well let's talk it out, right? The Minnesota Vikings, obviously stat patter Kirk Cousins still plays there for the Minnesota
Great
Vikings.
fantasy QB for like where he gets drafted.
Great fantasy QB, yeah. Very, very hardly any turnovers, tons of bullshit yards and touchdowns that mean nothing in the game. And then of course you have Justin Jefferson. Some people have a consensus wide receiver number 1 this year. Others are not as disrespectful and keep Cooper Kupp at the top slot. Then you have the ageless Adam Thielen, who continues to play football there in Minnesota. Guys, I mean, I don't have to mention Dalvin Cook. You should already know that. That's a no-brainer. You draft him. Anybody else you want to take a flyer on here for the Minnesota Vikings? For me, just to start off the conversation, I do have Kirk Cousins as the 14th best QB in the NFL.
Well, that sounds about right. Halfway, not good, not
painfully like okay.
Yeah,
he's not average. He's okay.
He's right there in the middle.
He is right fucking in Kirk Cousins range.
One above Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would draft Alexander Madison just because of Dalvin's injury history. And to be fair, I actually don't think they lose that much when Madison comes in.
Yep.
Yeah, they hardly do. They hardly do.
I don't know. Minnesota's the third best team.
I do have Minnesota the second best team. I know you have them third, Kenny. Dre, for you, it sounds like you have them third as well.
Yeah, I do.
Luke, I'm not sure where you stand on this.
Probably third, yeah.
It's important.
So they're not going to be last, but they're not going to be first. It sounds like Kirk Cousins' team, so you're good.
They're both going to win anywhere from like 7 to 9 games, and
it really
9
all
is
just
like the
depends
best
on
case scenario.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
like
extremely best
probably
scenario.
7-8. So like that's why I could see Detroit a scenario where they get to 8 and then Minnesota struggles and they have 7 because they have the new head coach.
Yeah, I can see that. Irv Smith Jr. intrigue anybody?
God no.
Well, it's just finally they get out from underneath Mike Zimmer. So I am kind of curious on what this team can be because that Mike Zimmer offense is
that's a fair point.
Brutal.
I also think the main reason why people have Jefferson ahead of Kupp is just because we're hearing stuff about Stafford having shoulder issues.
Yeah.
And that's why he's been like in and out. So like that would be probably why people have Jefferson there.
Well, now they went and got Allen Robinson. You know what I mean? Like they have more than one weapon out there.
Is Allen Robinson the most disappointing fantasy player of all time after last season?
You know,
like that was so bad.
Because
you drafted him third round, and did he catch a touchdown last year? If he did, it was like 1.
No, he didn't.
I thought he got hurt and then pretty much just dipped on the season.
I will say
he
this.
played quite a few games, right?
No, I mean, yeah, he did, but he barely had any sort of production.
I want to
like
say
two?
6 maximum.
Maybe like
6
two,
what?
6 games
touchdowns.
maximum.
2 touchdowns
Last
probably.
year.
It was not, but he did have 1 touchdown, Kenny. He had one
He
touchdown.
played the first 9 weeks and then 3 games after that. He played 12 games and caught 1 touchdown as a 3rd-round wide receiver.
Just absolutely garbage.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
drafted him in one of my leagues. I was pissed. I will say this, guys. It's important to note when we're talking about the Vikings. Important to note, only 6 primetime games in 2022. Only 6 primetime.
When you have to look at the amount of primetime games,
So
how
6
good are you
wins.
actually?
You have to.
So
Yeah,
6
they're going to
wins.
lose first round of the playoffs, but you have to look at the primetime games. No,
Yeah.
there's absolutely 6 garbage Kirk Cousins games in the
That's amazing.
upcoming
Glad
season.
you brought that stat.
Absolutely. But on top of that stat, we are going to take an intermission before we talk the AFC North. And Mannon's probably like, why are we jumping banners? But Mannon, we're going to jump right back up to the top of our banners. We're going to talk about BCMG Game Day because it involves the Minnesota Vikings. That's right. So what happened, BCMG Game Day? If you didn't catch what happened late Friday night, you missed a Madden episode between Steve,
Oh God.
Job, against Chris Remick and myself. The sports science is going at it. If you didn't catch what happened, absolutely immaculate. So we are going to share this clip.
You didn't miss anything if it was a 40-point blowout.
It wasn't. This is actually a really good game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you missed Christian Kirk catching 50.
But like how
touchdowns.
many points do you have to be down to realistically walk over and turn off the system? Because like for me, it's 3 scores. Like you get up 3 scores, like I'm done.
to be completely honest, this was the only close game of the night, and we had won. Chris Remick and I had won two 40-pointers. All right, 2 40-pointers before this, and we gave the mercy rule. We didn't even finish the game. One was halftime, one was the 3rd quarter, so there we are at the top. There you see the 4 of us kind of side by side.
You played against Dallas.
Yeah, well, we did 5 randoms. So we did 5 randoms. We each did 5 random teams. Whatever we landed on is who we had to play with. So we unfortunately.
By Kirk Cousins.
That's the Kirk Cousins I remember.
Yeah, there it is.
Was this game prime time?
It is prime time. Yep,
Oh,
it's absolutely
damn
prime
it.
time. Yeah.
You guys
We're
got
definitely
hosed.
screwed. So Remick and I had the underdog team the entire way. And so at this point, I'm not going to make you guys bear through 10 minutes of this, but at this point, we're really feeling like, hey, we're going to hold the ball as much as we can, and we're going to try to get into the end zone with no time so that they don't come back. Because, Dak Prescott in Madden is like infinite. So Remick and I are calling it out. They're talking shit the entire game. Like,
a couple guys from Boston talking shit.
They were like,
shocked.
oh, the first 2 games don't count. Oh, the first 2 games, this is the one that counts. So they're like trying to say that this was the only game that counted, yada, yada, yada. And so it gets to the point at here where they pick us off, right? And so we're like, damn it, we're going to lose this damn game. And so we're pissed, right? Looking
Cowboy gonna cowboy them?
We're screwed. Well, right. This is absolutely gonna happen. So we'll roll it down to where the clock is kind of going. Right. We stopped them on 4th down. So now they have to punt the ball, and for some reason they didn't really run the clock. They just kind of kept going, and then they ran out of bounds a couple plays. Probably Steve. So I'm gonna let you guys watch this out. So primetime game in Minnesota against the Cowboys. The Vikings are about to get the ball back. This is absolutely Remick. This is not me. And so Remick takes his ball out, right? He's like, all right, I'm gonna go all the way down the field, right? And so I'm like hyped at this point. Like I played quarterback the entire game, all the games I played quarterback. I was like, okay, I'm hyped. We got great field position. Of course, I have Kirk Cousins, and so I'm hyped right now. And so this is the part where it gets super anxious for them. So you might see Job get up off the screen because he's getting pissed at the blown coverages by Steve. And they start getting mad at each other. And so Kirk Cousins does a running throw.
Oh my God.
And the guy's open. And I'm so livid how much he missed that, right? Looked like Tua for a moment. And so like you see us having to move our controller over because Job and Steve are just like talking nonstop. Every play they pick, they're like, oh yeah, they're going down the middle, or oh yeah, they're going over the top. So we opted to just go short and that we were going to run it and pick an audible. So you see right here, he runs across the field. I barely get it off. He catches that crap And
Who the hell
we're like,
is
oh, we
that
lost. So
anyway?
we rush it. We're down to 14 seconds, and we're absolutely throw a Hail Mary.
Oh my God!
No
This.
fucking way.
Oh my God!
And they are so mad the entire
I can
time.
see how
Job
red
is
Steve's
blaming
face
him. Steve is
I can
blaming
see
Job.
how red his face is.
We're ecstatic.
That's
You should have
amazing.
went for 2 after that.
I debated. I've been going for 2 all night. They couldn't stop it. I just thought make it 3-point game, go to overtime, have fun with it.
You threw them a lifeline. That's how bad you were beating them. Like,
And that was the game of the night. That was how we ended the night. That was the final game.
Hold on, just stop right there. Hold on. Go back.
Oh, I'll go back.
Remember-
I'll go back. Hold on,
Yeah.
1 second.
Just go right back to the end, right where you paused it, and just look at Steve's demeanor. I mean, just see it. Just look at his face. He's like, motherfucker, Job.
They're
God
talking.
damn it.
I don't know why the audio wasn't working, but they're talking so much shit to us all night. And then they're so
God.
bad.
Oh god. Just so look at the arms on the legs, head over just defeated.
There I am asking him did that one count because you were saying the whole time that game
did that one count? Oh, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed if you dropped that after that. Oh man, that's great.
So I told them, hey, does that count after? Because they're talking the whole time. That was the one that was going to count. So that's a good intermission there as we go from the NFC North to the AFC North, which is Luke's domain.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was great.
You're welcome. Catch a BCMG Game Day. Go check out that footage on twitch.tv/thesportgene. That's where we catch all the love. All right, here we go. Pittsburgh Steelers. Did we mention the worst team in the NFL earlier? Yeah, so that's a little playback. Steelers not going to be terrible. That was just to play on Luke and make him feel bad for a moment. But Luke, let's start off with you. This is your team, right? Fantasy implications wise. Do you have a quarterback, first off?
Mitch Trubisky is starting tomorrow.
Trubisky is making the start. So Trubisky is QB1.
I think he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, honestly, you know what?
Not good, but all right.
I'm not saying he's going to be
in that division
a Pro Bowler. I'm not saying that.
He might not be the worst starting quarterback in that division this year because of Cleveland.
I really don't. He has so much more weapons around him in the Steelers offense now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much I could take from him being Chicago. I really don't know. He sat behind Josh Allen for a year, which could only help. It couldn't hurt him, honestly. And for a veteran minimum deal coming in for the Steelers, I mean, what's really going to hurt them at this point? And the Steelers' offense is pretty much in a good spot. They have all their guys signed, and their rookies are on 5-year deals. So it's, they've got about a 4 to 6 year window to figure some stuff out. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to probably take Freiermuth for sure as a tight end. Wait a late waiver for him. And then, honestly, the last pick in the draft, I'm probably going to pick George Pickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because. I mean, he's that kid. I honestly haven't been this excited about a Steelers wide receiver since Mike Wallace.
They're making another QB trade.
Like
it went so well the last time.
I'm really excited for what this kid can do. I mean, he's dominated in training camp, so I really want to see his first live action start for sure. But they've got a lot of questions when this first round of cuts come, especially in the wide receiver room. They've got a lot of questions to answer. So Ernest, you might pick up a couple guys from our wide receiver cuts just for you, bud.
I might. Matter of fact, I'm going to go wide receiver in just a moment and ask you, Kenny. But before I do that, right, Mitch Trubisky, QB1, ITL study session powered by Blue Collar Media Group. We're studying the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? We didn't really talk about the running back position yet. Well, I'll leave that for you, Dre. But wide receivers, Kenny, right? where does your projections go? Right, they got the extension for their star wide receiver, right? For you, does that lower? I have Mitch Trubisky right now, 29th quarterback in the league. That's where I have him ranked. And with the defensive adjustments, I have him even in dead last, 32, just because the defenses that he faces strength of schedule wise to the pass is really bad. So worse in the league. So what do you say when you say, okay, I have a Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver on my board round 3. Are you taking them? Are you waiting to see if they fall to 5? Where are you finally drafting a Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver?
The issue is like with where Deontay's going in most drafts, which is kind of around the 4th round, I just would way rather go with more proven offenses. Like I'd rather go Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton around there because I know that he's got Russell Wilson and I know what I'm getting from them if they're healthy. Like, to me, I wouldn't hate drafting Chase Claypool, just taking the chance that maybe Chase is his favorite target, and the fact that you don't have to draft him until round 10 or 11. By then, you've pretty much got you should have your running backs, your starters, like all set. So then you could draft Claypool, and then it's like, well, if he gets back to his touchdown form of a couple years ago, then he's not a terrible option. And I like what Luke said about Pickens because especially if you're in a keeper league, like just draft that guy late because if he turns out well, then you've got a last round keeper on your hands and the value goes through the roof for him. So yeah, I just, when you can draft other guys in better offenses, I tend to lean that route and I just don't trust Trubisky. I still don't think he's a terrible quarterback, but he's certainly in the lower echelon of the NFL.
Definitely QB3 for me. No,
right behind Dak and Jalen Hurts. I know.
Yeah, ouch. We lost Dre, so might have lost him like the Steelers season.
Draft Najee in the 1st round and watch them run him into the fucking ground.
He's back. I was gonna go Harris with Dre. Coach Peanut says he'd take OBJ over Steelers wide receiver. Stream team captain. Go check.
Is he even on a roster?
No, he is not.
Okay, then I'm taking a Steelers. I'll take the guy that actually is on a team.
Dre, where does Najee Harris rank for you amongst running back ones?
Maybe like 13. Just because I think they're going to pretty much go to him every down, probably. He's going to be like the main focus of the offense.
Yeah, so you're taking Harris as a high running back 2, maybe low running back 1 for you, just because. Now, do you give Harris the same treatment you give DeAndre Swift when he was on a bad offense where they were trailing late in games where you don't feel he's going to get that ball, or is he just going to be the workhorse, guaranteed 18 to 20 carries, guaranteed 7 to 8 receptions? I was about to say Le'Veon Bell, Alvin Kamara treatment.
I remember, I think last year he had like 22 touches per game. So probably around that average, even more, probably a little bit more just because Trubisky sucks. And obviously because he was a backup last couple of years, Luke has totally forgotten how bad he sucks. But I mean, yeah, they got a good offensive line, I think. So they're just going to keep running the ball. And that's pretty much
Najee got 307 carries last year. Like, so he's going to be like 20 a game. Like, and they weren't good last year either. So
I was going to say, I saw the ghost of Christmas past Ben Roethlisberger for the last 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, at least this dude has an elbow
and some legs.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
we're out on the elbow for now.
Hey, it's not surgically repaired.
Don't forget those Trubisky 5 touchdown games. Don't forget those.
Out there.
He might have it. We just don't know if he knows how to work it. Is the issue.
But now your rookie is now like third stringer, right?
Yeah,
he's
pretty
not,
much. Yeah,
he's not
which is fine. Which is fine by me. The kid, he should have been in the 2nd round, anyways. He shouldn't have been a 1st round quarterback, but. I'm not going to sit here and worry about it. And we signed Mitch for 2 years. I don't really care right now. It is what it is.
Rack up some high 1st rounders and just rebuild
actually get a good pick for the love of God.
To be honest, this Deshaun situation is kind of worst case scenario for you guys because if he was just going to play the full season, then you could almost say like there's a chance you go 0-6 in the division, and then you'd feel really good about it. But if you get Jacoby, like you might even sweep them with Trubisky.
Yeah.
But Ernest isn't paying attention.
Let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens, the team that most people like to rid out of. Lamar Jackson, who's he going to be throwing to this year? That's the question. Marquise Brown's now with the Cardinals. I think Bateman's at high favorite so far.
Andrews.
And Gus Edwards will be sidelined for the beginning portion of the year, which means rev up the J.K. Dobbins Express. He'll be taking that lead backfield role and Solo back there. All right, guys, that's the offense. We're not going to forget Mark Andrews. That guy's definitely a 1-2 punch at the top of the
Yeah.
To be honest, on their depth chart, if they're not like the number one spot, then just don't draft them. Like you draft Lamar, you draft Dobbins, you draft Bateman, you draft Andrews. Don't draft Devin Duvernay and hope that he scores a bunch of 80-yard touchdowns. You're probably not wanting to draft Gus Edwards. He'll be on the waiver wire anyways. Mike Davis will be on the waiver wire. Like, unless they're your top options, then like just fade them.
Are you also looking at the names of the other wide receivers on the depth chart? I mean,
no, I only know of Devin
guys?
Duvernay. I assumed he was still there. I don't know who else they have.
Well, Longhorn superstar Devin Duvernay, I think is what he meant to say.
But look at these other names: Tylan Wallace, Slade Bolden, Jalen Moore,
Slade Bolden.
Who are
The
these?
pride of Alabama.
Isn't that the guy from High School Musical?
Okay, like Dre's 100% making up names now too, and I'm not the only one that's done that. There's no way.
The name of the game.
Well, I mean, mark my words, OBJ ends up there.
Honestly, it's not a bad spot.
Antonio
He
Brown
ends up
probably.
there.
Oh,
Antonio Brown. Oh
God.
Let's
Baltimore psych ward.
let's try to massage things into place and
Oh
go
God,
into
don't
Cleveland.
no. That's not a transition I'm here for. No.
Trying to get this over with. We have Coach Peanut in the comments, so luckily we can get his takes on this. Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson may be out for the year, but right now he's a starting quarterback for this Friday. And until everything gets finalized, he'll be starting, period. And then you have the holdout of Kareem Hunt, but obviously you've got the Nick Chubb Express back there in Cleveland. It looks like Andrew Consutton's watching tonight's episode. So, Andrew, you've been called out early. You might want to rewind and go check that out. But other than that, the wide receivers there in Cleveland, not spectacular. And with the unknown at quarterback, I don't think I'm really pushing.
Oh my! Stop right there. Stop. No,
Coach
I'm
with
not
the hot
talking about
take.
this.
How many more
I'm
draft
not
picks
talking
can you
about
trade for like quarterbacks?
I'm not talking about this.
Okay,
I mean,
seriously, if it's not Nick Chubb, do you actually want to own anyone in this offense?
No.
Don't they have
Really.
don't they have a great wide receiver one?
Amari Cooper is going to have
I was going to
Jacoby
talk Amari
Brissett.
Cooper, but I don't know what happens with Deshaun.
But like, look at where you have to draft him. You have to draft him in that Judy Sutton. Like, you're not drafting Jacoby Brissett because that's what you're drafting. You're drafting the quarterback too. Like, you're drafting Jacoby to be the guy.
Yeah,
for
and
at
Josh
minimum 6 weeks.
Rosen.
Yeah,
And Josh fucking Rosen.
Well,
and
yeah,
you're gonna
but
trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
but there's
Stop making
9
up
other
names,
guys
Luke.
that got drafted ahead of him. That seriously, like if it's not Nick Chubb, Hunt's holding out. You probably don't have Deshaun. You're not going to draft David Njoku, and you're not drafting Amari Cooper, given where the other ones are. Like
exactly.
That's it.
Just leave it alone. And if Amari's there, he's there for a reason because everyone else in your league is like, oh my God, he's got Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Or
that's a
fucking
terrible
Jimmy
headline. And Ernest, can we
Garoppolo.
move on so I don't have to massage things into place?
Absolutely. Let's talk about the final team in the AFC North. That's right, the Cincinnati Bengals. Time for cigars for the Jungle Cats. Some of us on here don't think the Bengals are even going to make the playoffs. I think the Bengals will definitely make the playoffs.
Who doesn't think so?
Who said that?
Oh, I could have
Probably-
sworn that's a Kenny
probably
take
Steve.
from like 6 episodes ago.
Probably Steve.
I think it was you, Kenny. You said I don't.
I
even
said
think
that there was
Bengals
the
will-"
potential.
Mark, if you are watching this,
Yeah,
go find the
seriously,
clip.
pull that up, because if so, like, I revoke, especially with this Deshaun stuff now. Like,
Okay, so Kenny's taking back his comments on the Bengals. I've always been behind the
I will
Bengals.
listen back to find out what I said, and I'll bring it for next episode.
Fine,
Own everyone
exactly.
in the Bengals offense. Go all in. Like,
Yes.
Bengals
seriously.
are the hot
Well, maybe
commodity
not
right
tight
now.
end, because like Hayden Hurst, like he peaked in like
If
2015.
if Uzalmo's still there, I would took him.
Yeah.
All Joe Mixon all day for me.
Although
Joe
I
Mixon
will
season,
say,
baby.
T. Higgins is going in like the 3rd round, and I think that's a little bit absurd to be the 2nd wide receiver in the offense, and you're getting drafted ahead of like
In the 3rd
DJ
round,
Moore and like those guys. Like, I don't know. Just my thoughts.
Too much smoke for me. But as far as the Cincinnati Bengals and the projections for Joe Burrow, I do have them ranked 5 on the ITL projections, a little north or right at 30 touchdowns next season and a couple of rushing touchdowns to pair with it. I think he's going to have a stellar year. I think most people do. I didn't mention it earlier, but after the defense alterations, it did drop down to 7th. So after adding the defense quirks to our equation, they did come down to 7th. So just keep an eye on that. They don't have an easy schedule this year when it comes to the passing defense. Did have Lamar Jackson at number 2. Think just with the stats overall, he's like Kirk Cousins, but blown up just with his legs as well.
Okay. Why? I honestly, I just want to know why with Lamar Jackson.
Well, because you combine, he's gonna be very high on his rushing yards. Like it's not even gonna be funny. If he's not gonna be finding guys down the field, if Mark Andrews gets taken out, there's nobody else to throw to. He's gonna be running. So yeah, I have him clearing 800 yards on the ground. Okay. So just with that by itself, and a couple of touchdowns on the ground as well, matched up with even if he cashes in on 22 touchdowns, he's top 3. So I think he does even better than that. So I have Lamar number 2 for the season.
Number 2.
Number 2.
No, not Andrews. You would think about it if Hill was still there, but like Kelsey's going to get 160 targets.
He's going to get way more. But if we're going to talk about them real quick, I am getting Juju.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm honestly thinking about McCole Hardman as a flex guy this year.
Yeah.
Now that Hill's gone.
He spurned me so many times that I would trust.
That's your cut.
But they also lost Pringle. They also lost Pringle, so like I do think that. Oh no, because they added MVS.
Yeah,
maybe I'm out on Hardman. Yeah. Maybe MVS is the guy there. That's for another day, though.
Yeah.
Well,
shout out the Bengals. Draft Mixon, draft Burrow, draft anyone.
Yeah.
Bye, Dre.
About to end that one. Everybody Bengals, everybody all day. Go draft the Bengals.
Correct.
All right, guys. Our last piece here, of course, is brought to us by BCMG. The BCMG guarantee, the parlay that saves the day, something that helps you get some pay.
Astros.
Couldn't finish it out. Dre saying Astros. That's absolutely my pick. But Kenny, do you have a pick for the parlay?
That's a good question. Tottenham Hotspur's money line versus Chelsea Football Club this weekend. Plus 225 was last time I looked at it, but yeah, I feel good about that one.
Sweet. Dre, who you taking?
Astros.
Astros win.
Also, if the Astros don't win tonight with Verlander going, I'm going to lose my mind. I picked him in a survivor pool, and there's zero reason why it should be 2-2 right now.
Nah, they'll pull away. Don't worry about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they'll pull
away. It's the Rangers. And the Yankees.
The question is when do you not take the Astros?
That's true. Dre taking the Astros tomorrow at 1:10 against the Rangers. I'm taking the Astros Friday again at 7:10, the special night game. Luke, who do you have?
I got nothing.
He's got nothing.
Whoever plays against the Pittsburgh Pirates, how about that?
Take the Cleveland Browns money line in preseason because it's the only time you're going to see Deshaun Watson this year.
I just hope to. Never mind. I'll say it off air. I'll just say it off air.
Well, again, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight for ITL. Really appreciate it. We'll be going over the NFC and AFC West next week on ITL, so tune in for that. And we will also be taking a break the following week. We have Las Vegas break, so I'll be in Vegas to go watch the Raiders-Patriots game, as well as have a fantasy football draft over there that I'll be streaming live. So very exciting stuff. But on top of that, the last week we'll be covering our last divisions in the South, and then we're back to pick 'em, guys. We're back to pick 'em. We got all the way back, Yeah, go ahead.
Is Steve going with you to that game?
No, he's absolutely not.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, but Dre, since you're on my screen, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, Twitter, Dre2124, and Instagram, Dre2125. I haven't posted a lot recently because I've been doing some stuff. I was actually trying to get us a new sponsor, but we received some unfortunate news yesterday, so I failed on that end. But I'll keep looking. So there you go.
Appreciate the love, Dre, and appreciate you keeping on. Keep that tenacity. Just Luke, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me in Canada, Ernest. No, I'm just joking. Well, not really. We're about a month away from that already.
Did you bail?
Yeah, no, it's about a month away. I've been watching CFL football. That's how I've been living my life lately. Yeah. But you can find me on Twitter at King of Hearts 82. It's almost not sports depression season anymore. Oh my God, who's that guy? Holy lover.
Andrew's pick inevitably for the BCMG guarantee is probably going to be Blue Jays money line on Saturday. That's my thought. Or no, you're not high on the Jays because of their bullpen.
I'm going Cleveland Guardians money line for the plus money.
He has one ready.
Hey.
Bangers.
Andrew Sutton with the clutch performance. Better late than never is the saying he's going with tonight. What's up, my man?
Well, hey, y'all. Sorry for the late one. We didn't finish work till later on, so happy to jump on.
I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love. Stay there, and we're going to let Kenny do a sign-off so we can end the show. Kenny, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on all social platforms at HedgePod. I'm a maniac that gets up at 5 a.m. to do a morning betting show, and I'm going to keep doing that, I guess, moving forward. So go and check that out on all social platforms and podcasting platforms and wherever the hell else you want to listen to audio of this odd Canadian talking about sports and betting. Ernest, thanks for having me on once again. Great time as always.
Of course, my season 4 co-host, Kenny Cotterell. Excited to have you on, man, for season 4. Of course, you're watching this on Ed Into Lab Pod, powered by Blue Collar Media Group. Some great things coming, guys. We have a lot of live events next year. We're doubling up. We got a big partnership with GSCon for the big Hoopathon and convention for the gamers next year. Got a lot of stuff happening. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned with the show. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the ITL Hoopathon. You got the sports science on your screen. Dre took off into the future back in Indonesia. We appreciate him, and we will catch you guys next week. Good luck on those bets.